I was crossing over to the left.
Forward swept wings. It would be no surprise if many thought this was a design confined to the science fiction realm. Forward swept wings show up in many sci-fi productions, from Macross to the X-Men series. However, the forward swept wing design has proven itself in the real world, with several designs. In World War II, the Germans built two Junkers Ju-287s with forward swept wings. In 1984, the Americans would test and prove the Grumman X-29, of which two were built. This was the airframe that inspired the fictional Macross YF-19. In 1997, the one-off Sukhoi Su-47 was built for the Russian Air Force and served as a technology demonstrator and prototype for a number of advanced technologies used in later generation fighters. The most modern forward-swept-wing aircraft is the SR-10, another Russian design. It is yet to be adopted by any air force. Forward-swept wings have been experimented with since the 1930s. The wing design offers benefits, but also drawbacks. The first of several advantages is controllability and maneuverability, particularly under stall conditions. Stalling on an aircraft is a breakdown of the smooth airflow over the wing into a turbulent one, resulting in a decrease in lift. This doesn't happen on an entire wing all at once, but rather at different sections that have different airflow. On a regular swept wing, stalling typically happens first at the tip, where the ailerons are located, rendering them useless. Used for banking or rolling, ailerons are important for maneuvering an aircraft. The design of the forward swept wing makes stalling far less likely over the ailerons. Stalls are more likely to originate at the wing root, away from the ailerons. Maneuverability is also improved at transonic speeds where shock waves are formed, normally generated along the leading edge of delta wings, again leaving ailerons useless. On a forward-swept wing, these shock waves are formed on the wing root, away from the ailerons. Forward-swept wings also reduce drag. With air flowing inwards, wingtip vortices and the accompanying drag are reduced. With the air flowing towards the larger root section of the wing and body, the maximum lift coefficient is raised, allowing for a smaller wing. As a result, maneuverability is improved, especially at high angles of attack. The Grumman X-29 was able to maneuver without stalling at up to a 67-degree angle of attack. Wings placed far back on an aircraft move the center of pressure behind the center of gravity. This allowed the X-29 to forego a tail wing, like shown here, that generates downward pressure to maintain pitch stability, which contributes to drag. Pitch control can instead be placed closer to the front of the aircraft by using canards, forward of the center of gravity, contributing to useful lift. Advantages were also found in a more efficient interior arrangement, due to the location of the main wing spar. On the Ju-287, the structural center of the wings was able to be pushed back on the aircraft, allowing for the bomb bay to move closer to the center of gravity, which made the aircraft more stable while carrying a heavier payload. Ultimately, for all designs, downsides overshadowed benefits. The design is highly unstable. The X-29 had 3 computers making 40 corrections a second, adjusting control surfaces. The design has inherent yaw instability, as drag increases rather than decreases to the turning side as an aircraft moves about its vertical axis. Engineering such wings was a challenge. All wings bend under the force of lift, but forward-swept wings also twist. Both the X-29 and Su-47 used carbon fiber reinforced plastics to resist this twisting. The X-29 reinforced parts of the wing with 126 layers of crisscrossed composites. In the end, the downsides of forward-swept wings outweighed the positives. This includes the new modern issue of the design not being efficient for stealth. Despite no nation adopting a forward-swept wing aircraft, the design does work and has contributed to the advancement of aviation technology. Alright, I'm Johnny. Thanks for watching. I hope the video wasn't too much of a drag. Take care and have a nice rest of your day.